I bet you have not heard these facts before. Donald Trump donated $5,000 to Kamala Harris's re-election campaign for Attorney General of California in 2014. He actually donated $6,000 in total over 2 payments, and his daughter Ivanka donated $2,000 as well. A 22-year-old high school junior varsity girls basketball coach in Virginia lost her job after posing as a 13-year-old player in a game, causing the team to forfeit and the players to vote to cancel the season. During the making of Rockstar Games' Red Dead Redemption 2, Arthur Morgan's actor Roger Clark was asked to redo his horse lines because they sounded too intimate.
Yeah, that's my girl. There, girl. There. Yeah, you're doing good.
Our primitive brains like the look of a mowed lawn because we can easily see that there is no danger hiding in the grass. Between the 1920s and the 1990s, around 500,000 US prisoners underwent state-sanctioned plastic surgery in attempts to rehabilitate repeat offenders based on the idea that appearance impacted the likelihood of reoffending. A Harvard study that lasted for 85 years found that people who did more chores during childhood often had more professional success later in life. A 2013 study found that chopping down trees results in greater increases in testosterone than playing soccer, with a 46.8% increase compared to a 30.1% increase. 4% of all people on Earth have never had a headache. From 1970 to 2015, The Sun published a picture of a topless female model on its page 3. Irish is an endangered language with less than 80,000 native speakers left. The world's first transplanted banana was reversed 2 weeks later because the recipient and his wife had such a severe psychological problem with it. In Germany, obtaining a driver's license can cost over $3,000, and it requires a minimum of 25 to 45 hours of professional instruction along with 12 hours of theory. People are banned from naming their children Messi in Rosario, Argentina. If a woman with a negative blood type is pregnant with a baby that has a positive blood type during her second pregnancy, her body will develop antibodies that will fight the baby as if it were an infection. If you tune your radio to 91.9 FM for one city block in Montclair, New Jersey, you can hear a looped recording of I'll Make Love to You by Boyz II Men, which has been broadcasting for at least 15 straight years. The USA has 4 of the 5 top air forces, with each branch of the military individually ranking in the global top 5. Multiple studies have found that an extra inch of height can be worth an extra $1,000 a year in wages for both men and women. On warning of a likely missile launch against the United States, the Pentagon and Strategic Command war rooms have 1 minute to brief the president, who then has roughly only 6 minutes to decide whether and how to respond. Multiple of Osama bin Laden's family members have tragically passed away in separate plane crashes over the years. Male Ohio residents have to pay out-of-state tuition fees even at Ohio universities if they are not registered with Selective Service, and some states like Alabama and Tennessee will not admit men into state colleges at all if they haven't registered. The average IQ worldwide is steadily increasing each generation, so they're making IQ tests more challenging to maintain the average at 100. Only about 10% of blind people see nothing, while the rest have some remaining vision. The letter X is used in airport codes like LAX and PHX because when 3-letter identifiers became standard, the airport simply added it to the existing 2-letter code. 40% of all twins invent their own language, known as autonomous language, due to learning to speak at the same time. The first housewarming parties involved guests bringing pieces of wood to light fires in every fireplace to send spirits away from the new home. The pound symbol or hashtag was originally called an octothorpe by technicians in a lab that created Bell telephones in the 1960s. On average, we each spend 2 days a year simply waiting for red lights to change green. Michael Bay worked for Lucasfilm as a teenager. When he filed the storyboards for Raiders of the Lost Ark, he thought it would be terrible. His opinion changed when he saw the final product, and it set him on his path to become a filmmaker. When walking into a bar in England, Jimi Hendrix and his band were mistaken for circus clowns. 68% of Texas lives in this triangle. Germany had secret plans to invade Boston and New York City, requiring 60 warships and 100,000 soldiers to land at Cape Cod and Sandy Hook, New Jersey. Owning the guy game film is considered illegal due to one of the actors being underage and having explicit scenes. The United States is ranked number 2 by the total number of Spanish speakers, beating out Spain. Gillette built plywood walls around its production lines to keep the Mach 3 razor blade a secret from many of its own employees. 152 years ago, an English writer named Samuel Butler warned about the danger of AI in his book Erewhon. Lotus Isle, once called Oregon's most surreal amusement park, met an early downfall after unfortunate happenings, including the drowning of an 11-year-old boy and the suicide of President Edwin Platt. The grand prize for Finland's World Championships for wife carrying is the wife's weight in beer. Wishing someone a happy birthday before their birthday is considered bad luck in Germany. In Germany, if a man is unmarried on his 25th birthday, his friends sometimes hang a sock wreath outside his house. The firework display at Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI's wedding went wrong and killed over 100 people. The first person to fly over Australia for about 3 miles in 1910 was Harry Houdini. Comedian Jack Benny arranged to have a rose delivered to his wife for every day of her life after he died. Janis Joplin's will designated $2,500 for a 200-guest party at a pub. In New Mexico, people over the age of 100 are exempt from state income tax. The Super Soaker was invented by a NASA engineer. Artificial Christmas trees started outselling natural ones in the United States in 1991. Albert Einstein never learned to drive. Between 1900 and 1920, tug-of-war was an Olympic event. The average American 3-year-old recognizes 100 brand logos. The Backstreet Boys were named after a flea market in Orlando. Britney Spears' cousin played her love interest in the Baby One More Time music video. A man named Goran Kropp from Sweden rode his bicycle to Nepal, climbed Mount Everest alone without Sherpas or bottled oxygen, then cycled back to Sweden again. The child voice actors for Bluey are kept secret. In 2023, a 45-year-old Belgian man named David Baerten faked his own death and surprised his family by showing up to his own funeral to teach them a life lesson because he was upset that they had grown apart. Male members of the US Marine Corps were not allowed to use umbrellas while in uniform until 2019. In 2003, rapper Pusha T wrote the McDonald's jingle, "I'm Lovin' It," but did not own the publishing rights for it. He learned from this mistake and now owns 40% of the next jingle he wrote, Arby's "We Have the Meats." John Quincy Adams partially blinded himself by looking directly at an eclipse in 1791. In 1945, 2 years before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, the Boston Red Sox held a sham tryout for him and other black players where management shouted racial slurs from the stands and humiliated the players. Eventually, the Red Sox would be the last MLB team to racially integrate. Vincent van Gogh held his hand in a lamp flame to prove his love for his widowed cousin. The remains of 1,150 unidentified victims of the 9/11 terror attacks are kept inside the September 11th Memorial and Museum at the World Trade Center in New York City. Haiti McDaniel, the first African-American woman to win an Oscar in 1939, was unable to attend the premiere of the movie she starred in because it was held at a whites-only theater. Spelling bees are only popular in America and not commonly found in other languages. In 2013, Saturday Night Live cast member Kenan Thompson refused to play any more black women on the show and demanded SNL hire black women instead. Many English words and phrases are loaned from Chinese merchants interacting with British sailors, such as chop chop, long time no see, no pain no gain, no can do, and look see. The brand name Rolex is a completely made up word that the founder thought was easily pronounced in any language. In today's terms, George Washington's net worth was around $500 million, making him the richest president ever to win the popular vote. Despite his reputation as a man of great wealth, Washington was land poor at a most inopportune time. To complete his journey to New York for his own inauguration, he needed to borrow 600 pounds at a rate of 6% interest from Alexandria merchant Richard Conway. In 1944, the CIA created a manual on sabotaging organizations which suggests tactics like making speeches at great length, referring all matters to committees, making committees as large as possible, and insisting on perfect work in relatively unimportant products. And that's all, folks. Why are you still here?